I love spending time on my own, and there's nothing better than a good 2 or 3 hours or longer out in the countryside on a nice walk, especially if it's dry like today. It's not particularly sunny, but the weather's good. But there's a very good reason why I like to spend time on my own, and it's nothing to do with having a personality defect. There's nothing nicer than a couple of hours out in the countryside. No people, if you're lucky, although I have just passed a group of people. Every now and then you think you've got the countryside to yourself until you meet a load of people coming the other way. Still, that's part of it. It's a free country. We can roam at will. I haven't got some kind of personality defect just because I like to spend 2, 3, 4 hours on my own with no people. The real reason is quite simple. I'm an introvert. I've had loads of personality tests over the years. The very first one I had when I was in my mid-20s. I was part of the management team of a big corporation, and they were experimenting with personality tests, and they put us all through a thing called, I think it was called Thomas's 4 personality factors. And that was the first time that I'd ever done that kind of thing, and it was the first time that I found out I was an introvert. Now, that particular company didn't see that as a good thing because we were in sales, and despite the fact that I was one of their best salespeople, they wanted extroverts in sales positions. But as I found out on that day, I wasn't an extrovert, I was an introvert. First time I'd ever come across the concept. Fast forward 40 years, and I do actually regard it as a real strength. But the real reason that I like to spend all this time on my own is because of that introverted personality. I haven't really studied a great deal about it, but the little bit I do know about it is that extroverts draw energy from people and introverts draw their energy from being on their own. And the worst case scenario for an introvert is to spend time with lots of people. My preference is always to spend time with small groups of people. I'm not antisocial, that's not what I'm saying here. When I say avoiding people, which I've said in some recent videos of mine, and spending time on my own, I'm not antisocial. It's just that I get energy from this kind of thing. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, it's beautiful out here in the countryside. Why would you want to spend it with people? There's so much to see. I mean, at the moment, I'm actually walking past a crap heap. It's lovely out here on your own. It's rejuvenating. And especially for somebody with an introverted personality, it gives us a boost of energy. Despite that first encounter with personality tests not being a particularly positive one, thanks to the leadership of that particular company, it made me realise why I was like I was. When my mates were energised by going into the pub and it was crammed full, I just wanted to run a mile. Now I know why. Because I'm an introvert. And I'm proud of the fact. Being an introvert has its positive things. For one, we're very analytical. 2, we're good listeners. 3, we're not going to want to dominate the room or take away the glory of the extrovert. We're happy to play second fiddle if we have to. And if you're an introvert, the one thing I would say is that some of the most successful people in the world have introverted personalities. People like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, those sort of people. Bill Gates, apparently. Now, I'm not putting them on a pedestal, but if you are forging a corporate career, then by all means look at them. They've risen to the top by being introverts. You just need to play to the advantages of the introvert. Today I'm on a walk around my old stomping ground, my hometown, which is Wetherby in West Yorkshire. That's where I was born and brought up and spent most of my life, even though I currently live in York and my mum and my grandparents were very much from York. I lived around the Wetherby area my whole life and went to the local school. I'll seize the opportunity whenever I can to go and have a couple of hours of walking, and today is one of those days. I've dropped my wife off in the local village, a little village called Collingham, not far from Wetherby. That's where her hairdresser has his salon, and that's where today, for the next few hours, she's having her hair cut and highlighted. So for me, I'm going to go out today and do a bit of walking, thinking, and hopefully I'll see something nice in nature. Probably not at this time of year, it's a little bit cold. A lot of the wildlife are locked up in their burrows, but who knows, you never know, I might see a deer or something like that. That would be good. What about you? Are you an introvert? Do you like to spend time on your own? What are your favourite things? What do you like to do? Obviously I like walking out here in the countryside on the edge of my hometown. One of my other favourite things to do is to go to the cinema on my own. There's a certain genre of film that I really enjoy, science fiction, and another genre would be historical fiction. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm planning on going to see Gladiator 2 on my own because my wife doesn't like that kind of film. She just likes chick flicks or detective stories, that kind of thing. I don't mind those, I'll accompany her, but she never accompanies me to go and see things like Aliens. So I'll go on my own at 2-3 hours at the cinema, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Sat there on my own with a bucket of popcorn. I like to go to the gym on my own. I never go with my wife, just me on my own, and I always choose a time of the day when there's nobody there. Hopefully nobody, but usually there's only about 2 or 3 people in the gym when I'm there, which is usually around about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's my normal time for going to the gym. Everybody's missing that time. The workers, they're not there because it's not their lunch break or it's not after work. It's the real sweet spot for going to a gym and finding nobody there, and I love it. Yesterday evening my wife had her Christmas do with her girlfriends. She left the house at 6 o'clock and didn't come back till after midnight, and I really loved it. I was there on my own. I got myself some sushi, some Guinness, and settled down to watch my favourite football team, Leeds United, beat Middlesbrough 3-1. Perfect. I couldn't have planned it better. What about you? Do you enjoy spending time on your own? If you're an introvert, what do you do? What gives you energy? Is it this sort of thing? Walking? Do you enjoy spending time on your own? What about going on holiday on your own? That's not something I've ever done. I'm always there with my family. But I keep reading about married couples who do actually head off and have solo holidays because the type of things that they want to do are not the same. Is that a good thing? What do you think? It's certainly something I'm interested in. I've got a bucket list, and some of the things that are on my bucket list I don't think my wife would enjoy. One of them, for example, is that I'd love to do the pilgrim journey in northern Spain, the Camino. But I know for a fact that my wife wouldn't enjoy that. It would be far too physical for her, and as I understand it, you're kind of slumming it along the way in hostels and things like that, which I'd love to do, but she wouldn't. 5-star hotels all day long for my wife. It just feeds your soul when all you can hear is the tweeting of the birds in the trees and the trickle of the stream. When I choose these walking routes, I always try and find one that's got a pub at the end of it, and preferably a coffee shop at the beginning. So I'll start the ball rolling with a hot cup of coffee, and I'll finish it with a pint or 2. On the subject of pubs, this pub has got particularly fond memories for me. The Windmill Inn at Linton, just outside Wetherby. This was one of my first jobs when I was 18 years of age. I used to pull pints in this pub every Saturday night. The money I earned from that paid for my very first car, a Mini 850. So I might as well check it out, see what's changed in the last 50 odd years. It's been a long time since I've been in here. I don't think I've been in this pub for at least 20 years. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it has changed. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi there. Can I have a pint of Guinness, please? Cheers. Well, I'm really pleased that this pub hasn't changed at all. It's like a time warp. It's exactly the same as it was when I was 18. I even remember pulling pints in this very bar. The young lady who served me, she was just telling me that it's her second shift. Well, you never know, it could be the start of something really great. It was for me. That was a great way to finish my walk. A pint of Guinness in my old stomping ground, the windmill at Linton, where I used to pull pints when I was 18 years of age. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.